Hello everyone, and today we continue our trip down memory lane as we continue the retro FIFA Newcastle career mode. This is a journey that we started in FIFA 14. It was full of so much drama as we fell just short in our league push for the top 5 as we fell to Manchester United after a really hard fought campaign. But against the odds, we brought it home in the FA Cup, sealing the final place in the Europa League. And now we have a stepping stone to push on this season as we move into FIFA 15. So let's jump into this career mode, continue the grind, and see what the season has in store for us. So let's jump straight into this one. There's 3 things we have to start off with this career mode, and that's number 1, do we try and keep Tiote as he was homesick last year? Number 2, who do we replace Colaccini with as he'll be on the way out this season? And number 3, do we try and re-sign Remy or bring in a new striker, as there's a lot of options on the market if we want to try and upgrade. Now, we wanted our transfer business done extremely quickly, so we've done that before the season even starts. So Fabrizio Colaccini does leave. He goes for 7.5 million to West Bromwich Albion. We've got Ryan Taylor out as well for a 1.3 million pound deal, and he's gone to QPR. Paul Dummett has left. He's gone to Bolton Wanderers in a 525k deal. Mehdi Abiad has gone out. It's a 425,000 pound deal, and he's gone to Nottingham Forest. We've also got rid of 2 of our youngsters. So Olivia Kerman has gone to Stevenage. That's a 90,000 pound deal. And Alex Gilead has gone to Morecambe in a 60,000 pound deal. We weren't going to use him, so we might as well get him off the books. The final deal going out is Jack Grealish. He's gone to Sheffield United for the season on loan though, so he'll come back next season and have a role to play going forward. And then we got the transfer business in. Firstly, Mario Fernandes for 12 million from CSKA Moscow. Strengthens our right back spot massively. Paulo Dybala has come in as a young talented striker for 10 million pounds. He's going to be a serious asset for us. We've brought in Fabian Schär, something Newcastle actually did a little bit later on. We've brought him in earlier for 4.5 million, so hopefully he can do a great job for us. And then a German young duo in Joshua Kimmich for 2 million from Leipzig, and then a 1 million pound deal for Leroy Sané from Schalke. They'll be serious assets for us going forward, and I can't wait to see what they can do. And so just before the season starts, to run through our checklist, number 1, Tiote will be staying. He'll be our holding midfielder. I think he's got a lot to offer in there. Number 2, Colaccini has been replaced by Schär, so that is a brilliant piece of business, and I think it'll be great going forward. And number 3, we've brought in a new striker. Paulo Dybala is going to lead the line, and I think he's going to be a great asset for us. And so we jump straight into the season, and the first game was against City. The first half chance came when Pogba took aim from range, but it was well over the bar, and it didn't take too long after that for Dybala to break the deadlock. He ran from the halfway line, broke through the Man City team. The defence stood off so poorly, and he slotted home for a beautiful debut goal. What a start for our new £10 million signing. He even had another chance to take that even further, drove through again, and the defence just couldn't handle him, but a poor finish was easily saved by Caballero. But he done it again, picked up the ball off Tiote, drove round the defence, slotted home for a brace. What a brilliant start to his career on Tyneside. This is fantastic to see. Yaya Toure did get involved in the action late into the second half, but it wasn't enough to make a charge on the game. That means we can pick up a big 3 points in our season opener. What a start to this Premier League campaign. Now, we went into the next game wanting to continue this form, and Benteke and Cleverley nearly took the early lead as they hit the bar and post in quick succession. But it was us that took the lead with a little scramble around the box. Teo pounced on the loose ball, giving us an early lead in the 20th minute. We'll take all the luck we can get there. But that luck turned on its head as Ron Vlaar put it into the box. It bobbled around horribly before Benteke was fouled by Tiote. Of course he was going to step up and convert the subsequent penalty. Is there enough time for us to get back into this one and retake the lead? And the answer is yes. Tiote finds Teo as he combines nicely with Dybala. He finds the gap in the defence and slots home at the near post. That is the perfect response we were looking for. Can we hold on to this one now? And the answer was no. A freak goal as a Bonglahor scores a header from 20 yards, seals a point for Villa, and that's absolutely demoralising. And so we went into the next game, and to be fair, we took our frustrations out on Palace massively. We got our first chance with Dybala as he stopped and scooped it inside and slotted home past Hennessy. Beautiful way to kick off this game. And it took until around the 74th minute for us to get another chance, as Dybala did find his way through. Took a strike that was saved, but the subsequent rebound was headed in by Teo. Brilliant way to double the lead and really cemented our control. And then Paul Pogba from the subsequent kickoff just bullied his way through. He lost it a couple of times but didn't give up. Got his chance and slotted into the far corner beautifully. 3-0, surely enough to win the game. But we weren't done there, as we got one more chance and we found a beautiful ball through to Teo. He really calmly slotted it into the far corner. That's 4-0, 3 points, a brilliant response to the result against Villa. And now we come here in third after 3 games. What a start to the season it's been. Now moving into September, we really wanted to keep up this form. However, Southampton ended up being a bit more of a problem than we first anticipated. They ended up taking the lead through a first half penalty, but thankfully Teo was there late on to rescue a point. But sadly, it was still 2 points dropped in this one. We did though, however, go on to demolish Stoke thanks to a brace from Dybala, and then Teo rounded it off with a beautiful rebound to finish the day. But once again, it didn't really matter, as we ended up slipping up to lesser opposition as we welcome Hull to St James's Park. Dybala did score an unbelievable goal to give us the lead in this one, but it was Shonea Luko who cancelled it out as he secured a vital result for Hull City. Now we did have our first game in the Capital One Cup in September, and we dispatched Blackpool brilliantly with our youngsters. Goals from Aarons and Miyachi secured the deal, and we will now move on into the next round in this one. And in this time we also had our first EuroLeague game, but it didn't start off perfectly as Denis Suarez scored early on to give Sevilla a 1-0 lead. Dybala did come back midway through the second half as he scored in the 74th minute, but we fell to a 90-minute penalty from Baka, meaning we didn't start our EuroLeague campaign the way we wanted. Hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come. And when Leicester came to Newcastle, that seemed to be the case. I mean, Dybala scored early, popped it in the top corner beautifully. What a lovely finish that was. But then the most unbelievable own goal went in as Cambiasso sweeped it in, and San Thomas at full stretch pushed it back across from where the keeper was running away from, and that is 1-1 in this game. But a goal late on, as it's a really scrappy one, but Dybala does find his way to sweep it home from about 1 yard out. That's 3 points. Now we move on to Swansea. And now we had a chance to try and string some results together, but Baffa Timby Gomes did score, takes them into the lead, and now we're in a real situation. But Pogba did come up big in the last minute of this game against Swansea. A well-worked corner was swept home, and that'll be another point on the board. We really shouldn't have got anything from this game. And then we had to go to Tottenham, and to be honest, this was just a rough one. Eriksson opened the scoring with a header. Tottenham dominated this game through and through, and then it was sealed in the last few minutes with Lamella as he swept it home. Beautiful strike, really frustrating day at the office here. We did then have Palace in the Capital One Cup, but it was Shamak who sunk us in this one. 1-0 loss, sadly we're out. And then we had our Europa League games this month. We had 2 of them. The first one was against Rapid Vienna, and it started beautifully as Dybala slotted home. What a beautiful finish that was. And Pogba added to it as he broke down the left side. He fought his way through. He couldn't quite slot it home on the first, but he made no mistake on the second. That is absolutely brilliant. Surely we have the control in this game. But back they come, Rapid Vienna. They get in with Schwab, and easy, too easy from the defense, and that's 2-1. 10 minutes to go, surely we can hold on, but no we can't. Beric takes a strike, it's rebounded, that's 2-2. 2 points dropped. And somehow those troubles just continued as Bromby came to town as Shamanovsky absolutely slapped one in the top corner. What a strike that is. But we did get a goal back on the stroke of half time as Remy Cabella done an unbelievable piece of play to dribble through the team. He slots it in off the post, but sadly that was all she wrote. Nothing else happened in this game. Another 2 points dropped. How have we not picked up a win in the first 3 games? I mean, look at this table, an absolute mess. We should be up there in those 2 qualification spots, but for some reason, we're just having a nightmare. So that brought us to the end of October, and going into November, we needed to be so much more consistent in the EuroLeague. And in the Premier League, we needed to turn some of these draws into wins if we wanted to solidify ourselves at the top of the table. And so we jumped into November and we played our 10th game of the Premier League season versus Liverpool, and we had a fantastic start. Dybala was slotted through, he ran through to a one-on-one and slotted home so calmly. That put us a goal up early on, but then we continued to solidify that throughout the game, and then Januzaj wrapped it up late on as he stroked past a really poor piece of keeping from Mignolet, but we'll take that every day of the week. And now we pick up 3 points in this one. That actually means that after 10 games, we're top of the table. As you can see, we're not losing many games, but we've drawn quite a few, so we need to turn some of those into wins, and we could actually be pushing for a title this season. But right now, we're top of the pack, and we're destroying it. And why do we even talk? As soon as we do that, things always go wrong, and QPR have proved that this time round. They picked up 3 points with a header from Richard Dunn. A frustrating one. They go back to London with 3 points in the back pocket. And when it comes to corners, things just continue to get worse. Tim Krul punches it in the back of his net. I don't know what is happening. If we want to be trying to challenge for a Premier League title, this does not fly. But luckily, Januzaj was there. He was fed through and found the near post versus Ben Foster. It was enough to claw out a point from this one. But to lose 5 points over the last 2 games versus West Brom and QPR, what is going on there? There are some serious problems that we need to deal with. But thankfully, Dybala was fired up for the next game versus West Ham. He cut inside to score the first. Beautiful move. That's absolutely fantastic. And he continued that on as he picked up the ball, just rouletted Tompkins and slotted home past the goalkeeper beautifully. 2-0 on the stroke of half time. And then late into the second half, Teo found Dybala. He cut inside with a beautiful turn on Collins, slotted. It was stopped by Demel, but Januzaj was on point. He put it in for 3. That wraps up a fantastic result. Finally, we're back with 3 points. But where things were starting to look a bit brighter in the league, it continued to look dismal in the EuroLeague. Iborra slotted home, taking home a win for Sevilla. Another loss. Surely we're going out of the group stage in this one. So going into December, let's focus on that EuroLeague campaign because we needed something out of the Bromby game to go through and have a chance in the final game against Rapid Vienna. And Dybala started us off brilliantly. A well-worked goal as he ran through the team, slotted home beautifully. But that turned on its head just after half-time when Kallenberg did slot home after a ball through to him. It's 1-1. This result is still okay in theory. It means we have a chance, but up comes the 90th minute and Bromby have the ball. They're trying to work it through as they squeeze it through to Nunes. He slots it home when it comes on the volley. That finishes our EuroLeague campaign as we go out after 5 games. What an absolute nightmare. I can't believe we fought so hard in the FA Cup just for it to end like this. And then we just simmed the final game against Rapid Vienna, seeing it as a chance to get some of our younger players a run out. But even this one ended 1-1. We didn't pick up a win, meaning we ended the entire EuroLeague campaign without a single victory. This has just been a shocker from start to finish. But the one thing that did allow us was the opportunity to focus on the league, and we had Chelsea to take on next, a big game. Janmat nearly took the lead there early on, but on the stroke of half-time, Dybala just dribbled through like he always does. Unbelievable as he marauded through the Chelsea defence. 1-0 in this one, and that is how it will finish. And the next challenge was Arsenal, and we started off brilliantly as Tiote got an open body, took a shot. It was saved from the goalkeeper, but bobbled around to find Dybala, who stabbed it home beautifully in the 11th minute. But Arsenal rallied back into this one as Wilshere found a ball over the top, and Welbeck got there just ahead of the defender. He slotted home past the keeper so coolly, and that brings it all level, meaning it's all to play for. Dybala really should have taken the lead when he dribbled through the Arsenal defence brilliantly. He went one-on-one and somehow glared it past the post. Shocking from the Argentinian. And then Arsenal came through. Walcott gave the chance to Ramsey, who hit it. Krul made a mistake by not claiming that one. Alexis Sanchez cleaned up, and that was all she wrote. Sadly, we went away with this one with absolutely nothing. And that looked to be the case as we went to Burnley as well. It didn't matter how much we tried, we just could not break the deadlock. We gave everything, and no matter how close we get, it just wouldn't go in. But that wasn't until the 90th minute, when it was all down to Davide Santon to whip in the most perfect ball. He found Teo, who somehow found the top corner, securing a huge 3 points at the death. That is an absolutely massive 3 points. And then we looked to string together even more points as we went to Manchester United, and Paul Pogba was the hero as he cut inside and rifled it past Victor Valdez. What a goal from the Frenchman. That is just what we need. That is another 3 points on the board. Manchester United had no answers. Can we keep this up? We're really starting to find some traction. And that looked to be in the bin early as Aruna Kone in just the first 4 minutes slotted home with a brilliant strike. In off the crossbar, what a finish that is. And then Everton even doubled their lead as they found the free man and Aidan McGeady on the left. He made no mistake of slotting in at the near post. Surely it can't get any worse than this. But yes it can. Tony Hibbert clips in an unbelievable ball, finds Lukaku, who nods down for McGeady. He absolutely cleans up there, making it 3-0 for Everton. This has just been a horrible day at the office. We did end up getting back into this one a little bit as Cabella slotted home a penalty just about 5 minutes later. And then we even picked one up in the 90th minute. A nightmare that we left it too late here to get something. But that is all she wrote. Everton walk away with the points. We were just too poor for too long of the game. And it was at this point we entered the transfer window, and I think we needed this at this point. We've been very inconsistent in the first half of the year, so this gives us a chance to really refresh, get rid of some of the freeloaders who haven't contributed in the first half of the season, and then bring in some new faces that can spruce things up and really help us with our push in the second half of the season. So the transfers out came in the form of Curtis Good, who went to Rotherham. That was a 190k deal. Saka also went out. He went to Crewe. That was a £50,000 deal. We just didn't see any use for him. We then also loaned out Rolando Aarons. He went to Aston Villa. Hopefully he can go and get some game time. And the same goes for Freddie Woodman. He'll go out to Morecambe. He just isn't of any use right now, but I do see him gaining some valuable experience and offering us something in the future. And then we started the new year with an absolute bang as we played Burnley at home, and Paul Pogba scored this absolute worldie, a possible goal of the season contender. That is absolutely unbelievable. What a way to start the new year. And then that was just wrapped up as Santon found Dybala in the box. He slotted home brilliantly, making it 2-0, bringing home 3 points. What a start to 2015. This is what we love to see. And we continued our form as we went into the derby game versus Sunderland, and the most outrageous own goal was scored as Pantilimon just absolutely slammed it in his own net. I don't know what he's doing there, but we will take the 1-0 lead. And then the deal was sealed as Pogba stole at midfield and Dybala found the most unbelievable through ball. Player made no mistakes, he slotted into the far corner. 2-0 lead, big result versus our rivals. We'll absolutely take that one. 2 wins on the spin. And then our season was rocked a little bit as we got an offer we could not refuse from Wolfsburg for Tim Krul. It was £19 million, we just had to let him go. But this left a massive hole that needed filling as soon as possible. And we didn't fill that role. It took so much longer than expected, meaning we had to field Stockdale until we could find a viable replacement to replace Tim Krul in goal. That meant we lost 2-1 in the FA Cup. That was not the result we need when we played Portsmouth. I then accidentally fielded the youngsters again into this game, so that's not very good. But we did lose to Southampton 2-0 in this one. I think we could have got something from that game if we fielded our starting 11. Next up was Chelsea, the team we were battling at the top of the table with, but they came out as 2-1 victors in this one. We just couldn't handle it and probably could have done better if we'd had a stronger keeper in there. And then we faced a whole team that was right near the bottom of the table. They're not in good form. But once again, we lose 2-0 in this one. We seriously needed a keeper, and deadline day was approaching. And so we finally got a deal done as we brought in Jan Sommer from Borussia Mönchengladbach. It was a £16 million deal. We seriously needed this guy in. It would strengthen the defense massively, and we were leaking too many goals. And then at this point, we move into February, and the one goal is consistency. We need to pick up more consistent results. We haven't done that in the first half of the season, and this is the first chance to do it. And Dybala opened the scoring with a brilliant little move as he sent the defender the wrong way, hit it across the goalkeeper. Brilliant little goal from our number 9. He's been a great addition. And then the game was sealed as Pogba stepped up from the penalty spot, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. That's 2 goals. That's 3 points. Brilliant day at the office. Really happy with how this one came out. We then went away to Crystal Palace and they actually opened the scoring early. The ball fell quite nicely for Gale. He had a free chance at goal and he wasn't going to miss that one. But this would start a trend of Januzaj scoring some very important goals. He didn't score a lot this season, but when he did, it seemed to really collect some points. He started home here versus Crystal Palace. A great move to turn Adrian Mariappa, but sadly we would only get a point from this one. Hopefully we could get more when we went to play City. But sadly, it was a very similar story as when we went away to Palace. They got a chance here when they moved the ball nicely, knocked it in for Cavani, who improvised beautifully to really find that far corner. What a strike that is to take the lead. But once again, it was our Belgian left winger who was the hero. Adnan Januzaj worked brilliantly here with Davide Santon, got himself through as he stole the ball back after just losing it. He slotted it past Begovic, claiming a point. In this sort of game, we'll absolutely take that. Now, this took us into March, and it was one of the biggest months. We had 5 massive games, and we needed to pick up points. And it didn't start well, as Falcao got on the end of a Carrick through ball, taking the lead in the 12th minute. Hopefully we can come back in this one. And Tiote was pivotal in getting back into this one. He played a nice one to Ateo. He gets a shot off which was blocked, and then the second one was deflected. If you look closer, Raphael gets a little foot on it which lifts it just enough to go into the gap beside Lindgaard. Really lucky, but we'll ride it right now. And we did get one last chance to try and claim 3 points here. Pogba done well to turn his man, popped it into Dybala, who released Santon down the left. He had the space, drew in the defender, got it out to Dybala, who slots it home to take home all 3 points. That is absolutely massive. Just what we needed right now. And that leaves us in the top 4 with 10 games to go. West Brom, Liverpool just above us, and Chelsea currently leading the way. It is really tight though. We cannot afford to drop points. Every point dropped is a chance for a team to overtake us. But then came Villa again, the team that stole a point late on with that 20-yard header with a Bonglahor. We wanted to get 3 points here, steal those back, and Dybala done brilliantly to start us off. 20 minutes gone, already 1-0 up. But who was there after a big mistake at the back? The midfielder didn't come to claim it. It was stolen by Sanchez, clipped in for a Bonglahor, who scores another header, claiming 2 more points off us. Really frustrating that this guy continues to be our Achilles heel. Another point, 2 points dropped. Absolute shocker. And that just continued as we went to Everton. Last time we played them, we lost 3-2. This time, Lennon done really well to get into the box where Lukaku dropped it down for McCarthy. He found Barkley in space, who curled it beautifully. Really frustrating. Another 3 points gone out of the draw. This is just going from bad to worse. And as Arsenal were then welcome to town, we had to do more. We had to be getting these points against the big teams. And it started brilliantly. A penalty and a red card for Koscielny meant we were a man up in the control, and Pogba of course converted the penalty as he slotted it in the top left. Beautiful work. What a start this is. But Matteo Flamini had other ideas as he absolutely curled one into the top right. What a goal. Really frustrating. We now needed a goal again to try and claim 3 points here. And it was of course Dybala who was the one to do it. He turned his man, brought it round on the outside, slotted it past the goalkeeper brilliantly and off the post. 3 points on the board. We're back in control. Just what we needed after those 2 terrible results. Meaning all we needed to do to finish this month strongly was beat our rival Sunderland, and Catamol put a dent in that as he slotted home in the 48th minute. But we weren't going to give up as Pogba released Dybala. It was really him versus O'Shea, and he easily cut inside of him, slotted it home beautifully. But we were never going to be happy with just 1 point as Pogba finds Dybala. He goes one-on-one, slots it past Pantilimon, who gets a hand. It's not enough. 3 points in the bag. What an end to the month. And so this took us into April, just 7 games remaining, and the first of those was against Liverpool. Pogba started us off brilliantly with an unbelievable free kick into the top corner. This gave us another lead against one of the big teams, but the question is, can we hold on to it? And for most of the game, the answer was yes, until the ball fell to Henderson in the middle of the park. He clipped it through and someone never claimed it. I've slotted home to take home a point here. I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing, but it's cost us another 2 points. And this one is a real hard pill to swallow. We then welcomed Spurs to town, and this was a very interesting game. Soldado started off with an unbelievable strike as he found the top corner from the 18-yard box. But we wanted to get back into the game, and Dybala was very pivotal in that. He worked his way through, got the space to get the shot off. The keeper had no chance. This guy is now up to 20 goals this season. What a signing he has been. But we didn't want to rest there as Cabella found it to Tiote. Tiote squeezed it through to Dybala. He did find it back to Cabella, who finished off the move beautifully, taking the lead in the 63rd minute. But that was all undone as Eriksson drove forward, freed it out to Lamella, who smashed it into the top right corner. Back to 2-2. And then it came down to one last chance as Dybala broke through, found his way and freed it out for Cabella. He's been on form recently. Surely he's going to slot it home. He puts it wide. But that will be the end of it. 2-2. The points are shared. Not the ideal finish. And so that took us into the final game of the month. It was against Swansea at home. We had a nice little corner as we called the man short. Played it round nicely to free up the man. Tiote clipped it into Cabella, who got the right side of his man. Finished with an unbelievable header, taking home all 3 points in this one. This guy continues to be in incredible form. And so that left us with just 4 games now. We've finished April, we move into May, we're into the final push of the season. Can we make Champions League football and start to solidify ourselves as a top club? And so moving into May, we had our first game against Leicester and Dybala really kicked it off. 16 minutes in, he turned the defender, slotted it past the keeper beautifully. What a goal that is. This is the start of the month that we absolutely needed. And then it just continued to get better as Pogba worked his way through. Clipped it for Cabella, who again was through on goal. He doesn't make a mistake this time as he slots past the goalkeeper. 2-0 in the 90th minute, securing 3 points. That now moves us up to second. We are on the same amount of games as anyone behind us, so we're in a really strong position. It is truly in our hands now. If we don't make Champions League football, it's our fault. And then we had West Brom come up. 5th in the table could cause us a problem. An early chance through Teo went to begging. Too much extension, just couldn't quite get it on target. And that was a bit of the story of this one. No matter how much we tried, none of our chances were really causing a real problem. And it just continued throughout the entire match. So no matter how hard Dybala or Pogba tried, we couldn't win this game, meaning it ended 0-0. We shared a point each. Not what we needed at this stage of the season. And although we struggled against a lot of smaller teams in the save, we didn't today, and that's what matters the most. We took on QPR, Cabella played a lovely 1-2 and smashed it home to complete a lovely team goal. That's just what we need right now. 3 points on the board, the only goal of the game. And that goal secures Champions League football for next season. We're now in second. Can we hold on to that? We have just 1 game left against West Ham. Can we wrap up this season absolutely perfectly? And so we go into the West Ham game trying to put the cherry on top of a pretty fantastic cake as we've absolutely smashed it this season. We really put it towards West Ham throughout this game with a few chances that nearly went in. But this goalkeeper, Adrian, just kept everything out. He wouldn't stop saving it. But we stayed persistent. We went until the last minute. And what did I say earlier about Adnan Januzaj? He pops up with pivotal goals. And of course he does that again as Dybala finds him. He volleys it in. That will seal an impressive season as we win 1-0 versus the Hammers. This has been an incredible season. This goal tops off an incredible campaign. What a time it is to be a Newcastle fan. We're in the Champions League. Everything is on the up. And next season, it's only gonna get better. I am absolutely in love with this team. And so to conclude the season, this is how we finished. We finished second, only 68 points though. That's absolutely nuts. But second place confirms the Champions League. We now can try and build on this again for next season. I am so happy with how this year has gone. And when you look at how the team performed, Teo, Pogba, Januzaj, Cabella, all picked up pivotal goals. So many assists from Pogba and Tiote. We've smashed it this season. But let's look at Dybala. 22 goals, 8 assists, meaning he wins the Golden Boot this season and takes home the Player of the Season award. He has destroyed it. I'm so happy we brought this kid in. And when you look at how he performed against the rest of the league, far and away the best player, 13 from Cavani, Balotelli, Oscar and Eriksen. They were nowhere near him. Dybala has been an incredible steal, considering he only cost 10 million. And he wasn't too far away from getting the top assist award. He finished on 8, equal with Oscar and Pogba. Walcott ran away with it though with 11 this season. An incredible year. Hopefully he can go for that next season though. And when it comes to the Golden Glove, that goes to Courtois, who finished with 18 clean sheets. That's outrageous. Sommer is there with 6. Obviously he only came in for half the season, but we definitely need more from him next year. Hopefully he can really up his game. The final thing to do is summarise the competition. So Chelsea win the FA Cup, beating Arsenal 2-1 in the final this season. Man City dominate as they beat Aston Villa 3-0 to win the Capital One Cup this season. The Champions League ends up going to Barcelona as they absolutely slap Chelsea 3-1 in the final. And the Europa League goes all the way to penalties as Lyon come out on top. They beat Inter, taking away the trophy we couldn't even get out of the group of. And so that marks the end of another incredible season. We've done FIFA 14 and FIFA 15, so FIFA 16 will be next. If you have enjoyed, please do think about subscribing. We are so close to 1,000 and your help would be massively appreciated. I do have a couple of things to put forward to you. Number 1, who shall we be looking to replace Davide Santon with next season, as I feel we need an upgrade at left back? And the same goes in the field for Tiote. He is starting to get on. He's starting to decrease through these saves. So we need a great anchor in midfield, and that will be a great thing to look at. Also, a massive thank you to Jesserbeats318, who has become a member of the channel. If you're interested in doing that to get some perks, it's down below. Click the join button. But that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Please do drop a like. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely rest of the day, and peace out.